Damn, y'all, you two did it to me. I'm blaming Australia, man. Your ass got me shadow banned. I'm not tripping, man. We ain't gonna start talking about what's going on. We're gonna do what we can do to make sure everything keep going how it's supposed to go. I am Trailhand Bill, reporting live from South Florida. If you're not aware, this is the weekly wrap-up. We just cruise around America, man, to see what our government has been up to. So let's cruise around America and see what our government has been.
Well, outrage in Northwest Indiana as friends and family gathered tonight for a visitation for a father of two. They're demanding answers about how he died during a medical call for help.
Riker Earl's family telling WGN's Jenna Barnes they witnessed him go limp while a police officer held him down.
The only thing I really have right now is anger.
Anger fueling the drive for justice for 26-year-old dad of two, Riker Earl. He died earlier this month after his family says Jasper County, Indiana emergency medical technicians sedated him and police then held him face down for more than 15 minutes during a medical emergency. Earl, his family says, was prone to having seizures. EMTs responded to help him the day of September 8th, and his family says some of the same EMTs returned that evening along with police because a more severe seizure at his home in DeMott, Indiana, prompted his grandmother to call 911.
And she's the one who has reported that he, in trying to put on his shorts to go to the hospital, fell over and bumped into either a police officer or one of the first responders, and that seemed to trigger a change in their behavior to treating him like a criminal at that point instead of a patient.
The family says officers took Earl to the floor, handcuffed him behind his back with his face in a pillow.
There was an officer on the upper part of the backside of his body. I had witnessed him begging for his life.
Earl's aunt says she was in the room as his body went limp.
I was just begging and pleading. He's blue. He's blue, like he's blue. You can tell he's blue. Do something, take his pulse.
She says when first responders did take his pulse, there wasn't one. Earl was taken to the hospital, but tests confirmed he had no brain activity. He was removed from life support on September 10th. The sheriff's office statement from 2 days later makes no mention of the circumstances of Earl's death. It reads that officers responded to a medical 911 call from a residence, and on September 10th, the office was informed the patient had passed away. The family has hired National Civil Rights Attorney Ben Crump and Indiana Attorney Stephen Wagner to investigate what happened, and they're zeroing in on the actions of officers and EMTs. Actions, they say, put Earl at greater risk.
Yeah, the dangers of prone restraint have been known for years to law enforcement. Everybody in the public has known about them since the George Floyd case in May of 2020.
The coroner hasn't yet released Earl's cause of death, but the attorneys are requesting his medical records and the body camera video of the incident to get answers for his family.
He was a 26-year-old man with a whole lot of life ahead of him.
Jenna Barnes, WGN News.
Indiana State Police are now investigating the incident at the request of Jasper County Police. WGN News has requested a copy of the body camera video.
What they said about George Floyd, man, he was like, I don't remember the story, but there was something going on with his body that was responsible for the death and not like the officer's actions. I guess we're going to say the same thing about Riker, huh? He's probably having a seizure, and there was something going on internally with him that was responsible for his death and not the first responders' actions here too, right? You know, content making is not like the easiest thing because you could just say what's on your mind, but our world is so amen cornered up. People are going to take the obvious and, twist it with their biases until they're hearing and responding to what they wanted to and not what was being said. I want to be clear what I'm saying, man. I just have a mind, and it comes from my Christian roots, that says you need to approach every situation with the value of humanity in mind, man. And that's my contention with all of these situations that these cops get in. Whether you're talking about George Floyd years ago, that was a national crisis. Riker right now, which should be a national crisis, in every, human life in between, before, and if we continue to live, we'll come after. This is a very tragic story. This is the weekly wrap up, so I have to be quick with my thoughts, guys. We got 2 more videos. This is just crazy, man. What are you gonna say? Like, grandma, don't call your son, your grandson is having another seizure. Don't call first responders. Why did cops come? He had a seizure before this, and only first responders came. I guess that was taken care of well. They left, they came back. I don't know why cops came this time. But grandma called. And then what are you gonna say to auntie? Like, they're declaring war on your family right here in your living room. Jump in and help. It's like armed thugs right here. And plus the EMS, you would really think they're probably gonna help the police. What do you want her to do, man? I don't know how to watch these videos and not get terribly upset, man. I don't know how to watch these videos and not see war being declared on the American public. I don't know how to watch these videos and wonder why they don't even mention a hint of compassion, this sheriff's department or this agency, this government agency, for the family. They don't even mention the circumstances surrounding his death. They just mention whatever the hell they mention. That is absolutely heartless. And that's what I also think about the public response to a lot of these cases. We come up with reasons why the deceased person deserves to be deceased. And maybe you're right. I just think even in that, you could speak about it with the same compassion that you want people to speak about your loved one passing and, you know, being harmed or victimized in any way, whether they deserved it or not. There's a lot more I want to say about this story. I'll end with rest in peace to Riker, man. Prayers for his family, and I definitely hope those body cam videos are released now, so we can see what the hell happened and deal with it justly. Let's see what else going on in America.
Well, now to that breaking news out of Murrieta. A man has been shot and critically wounded by an off-duty police officer.
For more on the circumstances that led up to the shooting and what witnesses saw, we go live to Inland Empire Bureau Chief Rob McMillan. Rob?
Well, Murrieta police say it happened around 9:15 this morning in this parking lot. A couple of witnesses telling us that an off-duty officer walked out of the gym and noticed two other men arguing in a couple of these parking spots here, that argument stemming from some kind of road rage incident. The off-duty cop walked up and tried to intervene. That's when apparently one of those men pulled out a replica firearm, and that off-duty officer opened fire.
Yes. No, he's moving.
Cell phone video showing the moments after a shooting in Murrieta involving an off-duty Hemet police officer. Evidence markers indicating shell casings in a parking lot at the corner of Murrieta Hot Springs and Margarita. The front window of one business shattered.
And I heard shots, pop, 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 pop,
pop, pop, pop, pop, pop. But I thought it was the auto shop over there.
Marguerite Walters was in the parking lot when it happened. Her son shooting this video as they walked up to try to help the man who was shot. The man in the gray shirt is the off-duty police officer.
And I said, you know, I'm certified. Can I please help? He said no at first, but then he let me. So I went over and just kind of assessed him, got his name. He wasn't able to talk. He was ashen gray, clammy.
It appears that the off-duty officer had witnessed a road rage incident that he was not involved in, and shortly after is when the officer-involved shooting occurred. Officers did locate a firearm at the scene, and the officer is cooperating with the investigation.
Murrieta police say that firearm they recovered at the scene belonging to the man who the officer shot was actually fake. Details about the road rage incident are unclear, as is why the off-duty officer opened fire.
When we first stopped to see what was going on, I heard him say, "You can't go around pointing guns at people." But at that point, the gunshots had already gone off.
Yet another example of how quickly road rage incidents can escalate, this time with someone who wasn't even involved.
If you want to cut in front of me, cut in front of me. I'm just going to put on brakes because it ain't worth it. Because nowadays, everybody carry a gun.
And at last check, the man who was shot was still in the hospital in critical condition.
Yeah, man, Valentina, I'm gonna put, Lord willing, I'm gonna make sure I remember this. Her, put a description to her story in the comments, guys. California cops killed her. They were allegedly looking for a criminal. They opened fire. She was in Target shopping for a party that she was going to with her mom, if I remember correctly. And they shot her. I'm mentioning that because the bullets going through the story, man. I just really think you cowards are some real willing and ready at any moment to be cowards, man. What the fuck is wrong with you, family? Let's rewind the story so I don't be too biased and hold on to some of my objectivity. Now, he could have gotten involved, but why are you getting involved in the first place? I'm telling you why 9 times out of 10. It's because what I always tell you guys when you want me to be sympathetic to these cowards, because they're off duty. Cops are never off duty. If you watch my videos frequently, how many times have you heard me say that? They get the privilege, power, and authority of being cops 24/7. And I guarantee you that was the mindset that this coward went into that situation with. Now, you know the first thing that pops out to me, sir, why in the hell is nobody on the scene witnessing this victim pulling out this toy gun that y'all say belonged to him but you? Why is it? Why in the hell did nobody see him pull? Where is the guy that or the woman that he was having this road rage shooting? Because when I watched this video, sir, everybody seems to be sympathetic toward the guy that you shot. There's nobody, like, I didn't hear a hint of like, okay, well, he deserved it. We did see him do something or make a motion that deserves shots or fire. We didn't see any of that, family. The only thing I see that leans in that direction is they don't seem afraid of you. Which, I don't know, did they cut the video where you were telling everybody you a cop, so calm down, you got it under control? Because the lady said she asked you, could she assist the man, because she knows how to do that, and you told her no, coward. I guess, I mean, for her to ask you, I mean, my train of thought just believes you probably told him you were an officer after you shot this man, which means what? Because I'm going to go back to a very standout statement that gentleman who looked like he was on the bike made to me. Everybody carries gun. So you're cooperating. We're going with your version of the story. You went home. So now if there would have been another American out there with a gun and you pulled out your gun and shot that man allegedly because he pulled out a gun, if they would have pulled out a gun and shot your ass because you just shot somebody, would they have gotten to go home too? Stories like this piss me off, man, and I have so much more to say about it. I don't know. Maybe it happened how the cop happened, but even if it did, I still ask the same damn question that I asked. If he can shoot somebody for pulling out a gun, could somebody out there could have shot his ass for shooting someone? California, y'all be safe. Y'all got like probably the top at least 10, if not 5 terrorist cops and law enforcement agencies in America, man. I don't like them very much at all. Let's see what else going on.
We're going to stand and we're going to fight for an impartial, unbiased, transparent look into this matter.
Questions remain about the death of Enrique Delgado Garcia. The 25-year-old cadet at the State Police Academy became unresponsive Thursday in a boxing ring during a training exercise. He died at the hospital Friday.
Everyone loved Enrique.
An emotional Worcester district attorney remembering Delgado Garcia, who worked as a victim advocate for a year and a half right before entering the academy in April. His mother and other family members in tears as the DA recalled Enrique's dedication.
We try and get him to go home. Say, Enrique, what are you doing here? It's time to go home. And he said, no, Mr. Early, I'll be leaving soon. I got a few things I still need to do.
Those close ties are why DA Early says his office cannot lead the investigation.
I'm looking for someone who can look at this with an independent view, who doesn't have a stake in its outcome.
Early would not address what's been uncovered so far, saying the autopsy report is not finalized and the incident was captured on video. The family, asking for privacy, did not comment. Worcester City leaders calling for an impartial investigation.
The one thing that we know is that transparency is important to the family, it's important to the community.
So it's unclear when a decision will be made about who will lead this investigation. State police troopers with the Worcester DA's office, though, will continue their work. The Attorney General says she is in conversation with the Worcester DA about who would be the proper authority to take over the case.
I don't know, guys. I seen this story a few days ago and it popped out to me, and it kind of came up as something I want to discuss, but it'd be so much, like I always say, I just let it fly, and then it popped up again, and I said, well, hell, they kept talking about it, and I said, well, let me look into this. And even now, listening to the video, it kind of doesn't make any sense to me, except that the government is being the government and hiding something. And so it just makes you wonder what they're hiding in this case, because if he just, I mean, we see, I do personally see stories all the time of athletes passing out at practice and passing away. And sometimes these things happen. All of our bodies are made different. But the fact that they're, prolonging this matter and leaving it up in the air instead of just saying, hey, the medical professionals said this and this is what happened. They're not saying that. They're saying they're looking for someone to investigate this. They also said the incident happened on camera. So what incident? And then they said he was in a boxing ring. So did y'all have some type of hazing experiment going wrong there? Were y'all bullying this guy? Are there officers who need to be charged with murder here and then also co-conspiracy to murder? What's going on here? And since they didn't give us any information, and I also read the print article and didn't get much, if this story pops up again, I may mention it in another video. But absolutely we need justice for everybody, not just cops or, soon to be cops when they die. Let's just remember Americans like this is my logic. These people aren't superior human beings because of the career they chose. You know how I feel about that. But once again, guys, this story is just suspicious to me because they made it suspicious. So I definitely want to see where they're going with it and what comes out of it. Just like that story about the sheriff who shot the judge. They were very hush mouth about any ideas about what led up to that. So those are two stories I'm going to be watching. This is the weekly wrap up, man. I'm very pissed off about that father of two that they murdered. Obviously, that man should still be alive right now. How in the hell does your grandmother, man? The last time we talked about a grandmother calling the police because she needed help, her grandson got shot 11 or 12 times because he was sleeping in his car outside of her house. If I'm lying, I'm flying when I tell you that was in Indiana. Check the pinned comment. I promise you that's going to be the first video. The last time a grandmother called the Indiana cops for help, her grandson got shot 11 or 12 times for sleeping outside in the damn car. This time they murdered Riker. This is the weekly wrap up, guys. I am out of here because I'm going to say a lot of shit if I ain't. Y'all be good. We getting closer to Friday, man. With these weekly wrap-up videos. Those first two stories kind of pissed me off a lot. And I think I did adequately explain why. I'm always going to say know who these cowards are. Teach your children to know their rights. And y'all be safe out here in America, man. You ain't got to live no paranoid life. But if you see cops anywhere, your ass better be aware of what's going on. Innocent or not. If y'all ain't noticed, we all Negroes now. Thank you if you made it this far. If you liked the video, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. If you care to go a little further than that, maybe even subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check out a few of the other videos on the channel. Either way, y'all be safe.